everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Unscripted Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Eduardo, and I'm here with my co-host, Edward. What's up, Edward?
Nothing much, Ed. You just
Uh,
want I think you can just as you can see by my background, I think you're just ready to get off your chest and just want to address what happened on Thursday.
nah, I mean, okay, I'll address it. I'll address it. Uh,
Well, not
so,
really Thursday, maybe Thursday and then what led up to
uh,
Friday.
so let's just get right into it. To start out Week 15 of the NFL, my Chargers took on the Raiders in a game where I wasn't really expecting much, but I don't think a lot of us were expecting what we witnessed. Basically the Raiders demolished the Chargers 63-21. And honestly, I kind of stopped watching it literally at once it was like 21-0, I think, or whatever it was. I was like, yeah, I'm not watching this good like this embarrassment of a game of a team. And on Friday morning, oh no, Friday afternoon, Brandon Staley was finally let go and was fired as the coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. Also, the GM, Tom Telesco, was also let go, I think, after 11 years. Uh, but I mean, this thing, he had to get fired. I mean, if it wasn't this game, if he wasn't gonna like, this is the game where you had to get you he had to get fired. When you let somebody score 63 points at you, it just like
There was no way they were going to go back to
no.
SoFi and there wouldn't be any Fire Staley chance.
But I mean, like literally, I was like, honestly, I was surprised that he didn't get fired like that same night. And then I woke up the next day. I'm like, okay, it's like I see in the morning. Okay, it's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, nothing. 9 o'clock, nothing. 10 o'clock, still nothing. 11 o'clock. I'm like, okay, when is this gonna happen? When is it gonna? At one point, I was like questioning whether he was gonna get fired or not. And then it finally hit. Like he got fired. We'll see what happens with this team. I think they got the Bills, which not a good matchup to go against the next game that they have in week 16 on December 23rd, which is the Saturday game. But we'll see. I believe also for next year, I think we're in a salary cap issues. So the new GM, the new coach, we'll see who is the coach. A lot of speculation with Bill Belichick, depending what happens with him in New England. Jim Harbaugh, if he comes back to the NFL and his situation with Michigan. So
That
who knows?
investigation's still ongoing.
I believe so. I don't think I think I believe so. I'm not sure. But yeah, there's a lot of players that need to be get paid, like Khalil Mack, which I would want him to stay. He has already had like 15 sacks this season. I think he's third in the sack board. I would want him to get paid. I believe Keenan Allen still his contract. So, and then it's like Nick, I think Joey Bosa, I think also on his like final years of his contract. So if it's between those two, I would honestly keep Khalil Mack. I think he has made them a bigger impact on the team, and so we'll see. Hopefully next year what happens, and that's it. I'm pretty much done with the Chargers this season. I'm more focused on next season, and
The guys are still in the hunt.
nah, we're eliminated. We are eliminated. Um,
Sure, like
yeah,
mathematically wise.
I'm pretty sure mathematically wise. But let's move on to for your Steelers, which they played on Saturday and they lost. What happened there? They lost 30-30 against 30-13 against the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay, fine. I came for your team. You can cover my team. I'll play fair.
What happened? Obviously, Mitch Trubisky started, and then he got benched. Like, what
I
is
mean,
wrong with this team? Like, a lot of like, okay, Mac, it was finally everybody was blaming Matt Canada, this and that, and now it's like this team is still like honestly, I feel like this team is just like done. I think that some of the players are just like done with this team, done with like this season, and I just don't see the same like they're not fighting. This team is like I don't know. I think they're done. Like they don't have the same energy. They don't like they're already focused on like on their vacations or whatever. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. When I'm seeing them on the bench, some of them are pouting, you know.
Well, as we sit here, the Pittsburgh Steelers are currently 7-7, and we're on the
Somehow in the hunt or in the playoffs still. No, they're in the hunt, right?
yes, they're still somehow in the hunt. My fanhoods, I'm gonna have my fanhood kind of gives me blind optimism. I'm just kind of when you're a Steeler fan, you're kind of an enabler at this
Mm.
point.
But you have to be realistic. Like, you know, like my Chargers, I knew they were basically done after few weeks ago. So I knew the way that they were playing and just like obviously the coach, all the issues. Like, you know, I had to be realistic. Like this team is not gonna go anywhere. And even if they did somehow make the playoffs, which they were probably gonna get eliminated in the first round. So like I told you a few podcasts ago, yeah, the Steelers could make the playoffs, but I just see them getting out of the first round from what we have seen with this team. Like they haven't played well. Like their record, yeah, some you know the record shows like I guess like they still had a winning record, but it is you didn't see it on the field. Somehow they still won, but they
I'll just
weren't
say
playing
that
that well.
I'll just say this as a Steelers fan, getting into the playoffs, that's really the best it's gonna get at this point. So
Now,
yeah,
like what do you think would it take until like the Super Bowl is the expectation? Because obviously, as a Steelers fan, you're always the Steelers are always expected to get to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. So like, what do you think needs to
I mean
what
that
it needs
would
to because it's been a while, right? It's been a while since you guys gone to the Super Bowl or even
okay.
won it.
Okay, realistically, the Steelers Super Bowl window the window closed when honestly when AB just lost whatever sense he had.
It's
But
now, do you think Mike Tomlin should go? A lot of like Steelers fans are making some noise that you know it's kind of done. It's time for him to leave. Obviously, he's a great coach and he hasn't had a losing record. But do you believe it's kind of that time? Maybe just to start something new, something fresh.
look, if any Steeler fans ever sees this, I'm just gonna I'll admit we can be a little fickle. Like we do this all the time whenever the team's not performing to expectations and always call for Mike Tomlin's job. I'm gonna expect him to be back next year. Yes, we're frustrated. Yes, we always do this fire Tomlin thing, which I just don't see happening. But like I said, I have to keep going back to the bright spots. Kenny was able to practice this. He was able to practice this week, although it was
I
limited. Yes,
now you got Rudolph start
Mason Rudolph will be the starter. Now
against the Bengals against Jake Browning, which you know
it's
he
very
looking
it's
good.
it's kind of like a tough pill to swallow, but this is
What
just
could it be his first losing season?
hope is just hope is
Because
just
remember,
all
you got the Bengals and then you got the Ravens at the end. So
I still have hope, but on a week by week basis, it's just like declining more and more. So I just have
you
to wait
kind
and see. And I just don't know. I really,
yeah,
really don't know.
yeah. I would say just I think you guys are just focused on about next year. I think this team is not look good. I think it's a lot. It's just a lot of. It's gonna be a long off season for you guys. That's all I would say. Um, but now let's move on to another game, which was a big matchup on Sunday. And let me start out with last podcast. I was kind of was praising the Cowboys, you know. with all fairness, they were playing well, and this team looked great besides the loss against the 49ers. And coming to this game, it was of like, okay, this is the game where like, like after the Cowboys beat the Eagles, they were like, okay, possibly the Cowboys, this is a big matchup for them, going against a really good team, which the Buffalo Bills are. And yeah, the Cowboys did not come out to play, and the Buffalo Bills just ran through them.
Yeah, the Bills just had their entire way with them. The final score was 31-10, and Josh Allen really did put up very, very.
He only threw 15 passes.
I don't even want to call it like pedestrian stats. It was just like
He didn't need to,
the stat line he has like something you probably seen in a preseason game: 7 for 15, 94 yards, a touchdown.
and a tutty. So, but he didn't really need to because James Cook, like we said last part, James Cook, let him cook. He cooked the Cowboys. They just handed it off to him, handed it off to him, handed it off to him. Running, he had 25 carries, 179 yards, and one touchdown, and that was just rushing. His receiving was two. He had two catches, 42 yards, and one touchdown. I mean, like after they fired what Ken Dorsey, right? The
Hmm.
offensive coordinator. They had who's the new who's the offensive coordinator?
Joe Brady.
And then James Cook, like you can see his stats from when Ken Dorsey was the offensive coordinator versus now. It's a two completely different things, and they're using him more in the offense. The running game is being used. Um, and I think this game, like, I think you can see like you're seeing Josh Allen, like, you know, he, he can create plays. He's gonna go, he's gonna do Josh Allen things and just like,
Now he's
he's
playing with I guess he can play more free and less what's the word?
but he's not making mistakes I mean, he's gonna throw interceptions here and there, but I feel like if you see the game throughout, like not in this game and other games, he's kind of like just throwing away the ball. If you don't see it, like he's not forcing it anymore. He's just getting rid of it and like onto the next play. And like even in his press conference, he's like, he's fine with just handing the ball to James Cook if it's working. And I mean, this Bills team is very, very dangerous. Right now, they're in the hunt. They're not even in the playoffs, but the way that they're playing, they already beat the Chiefs and they beat the the they beat the Cowboys. So they're looking like a real contender right now. If they can make the playoffs, that's a scary team to go against.
I wouldn't say scary. They're just, I mean, they're going against your
Me,
Chargers, which will go.
no, but
You
I'm
could
saying like
you could make the
the
argument they could like become 9-6, but also with the Bills, from what we've seen, they could also just fall to 8-7. Like
no, but I'm
that's
sa-
that's
but
how
I'm but I'm
topsy turvy they've been.
but I'm saying right now they're playing hot, and like we said in the previous podcast, and everybody knows December is the time to get hot and start playing well. And so this team, the way that the Bills are playing, like, but they also have a lot of injuries on defense, and so we'll see, like you said. But this team can go against anybody in the AFC, even the Ravens, um, which they're looking like they're probably be the number one seed, and go to play in Baltimore is not that easy. That place is loud. We've been there before, and it gets really loud. So it'll be a tough place for any team to go against there. But man, the Cowboys, are they frauds? Are they frauds?
They're sitting
Because
at
now
10-4 right now,
and
and they
they've been
have to
in eat.
play. They got to play Miami.
Which who the heck is stopping Tyreek? I mean,
His
he did not play.
his
He didn't play.
ankles.
I mean, that's why he was out. And he's the only one that can stop himself. But are they frauds? Do you believe like, look, everybody's waiting for the Cowboys collapse, and I guess this was it. Like,
Yeah,
there's a time.
we just want to laugh and point fingers. Like they're talk like Cowboys fans, they get on their high horse, start talking high and mighty, and as soon as they lose, the rest of football fans just love relishing in their misery.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, rightfully so, like they were playing well and I gave them credit where credit was due and they were actually playing well. And and like I said, I thought this team was a very different team from previous years and I really thought that. And this game just like they didn't really do anything. They did not do anything. Dak Prescott 21 for 34 and no touchdowns, one interception. He didn't look good at all throughout the whole game.
I mean, Orchid Park, Orchid Park's loud. From what I saw, I think his snap count. Here we go. It was not working.
Yeah, you could hear that. But it's crazy that they're a different team away and a different team at home, which is looking like they might have to go play away. And if it's an away game, and if you got to go all the way to you got to go to San Francisco, yeah, it's not gonna be a pretty game for the Cowboys if they got to go to San Fran and play those Niners. So they definitely have to win the division and now they have a chance because the Eagles lost. We'll get to that game later on, but yeah, man, I don't know about these Cowboys now. Like the defense did not look good. You think the key to stopping Michael Parsons is just running the ball because that's what they did. Just running the ball. Is that the key to the to st to beating the Cowboys defense? Just running the ball, having a good run game.
Possibly because Michael Parsons, he is probably one of the best pass rushers in football, but he looked really neutralized. So I don't know if stopping the runs really something he has to work on, or maybe Dan Quinn just didn't have his fastball.
Yeah, it did not look good. It looked like what's in it? What's the offensive coordinator for the Bills? Joe
Joe
Brady. Yeah,
Brady,
Joe Brady. Yeah, he basically outcoached um what's his name? The Cowboys defensive coordinator.
Dan
He
Quinn.
just yeah, Dan Quinn. He just outcoached them. Um, but we'll see. A lot of the Cowboys players they were talking loud. And yeah, they look pretty quiet now, and a lot of people are just going at them like, okay, so where are you guys now? Well, how come you're not talking now? So, like you said, we're all wait. Everybody was waiting for the Cowboys' downfall. Potentially, this was it, but they can still win the
Speaking,
division.
yeah, let's speak on another NFC East team kind of seeing their
To
downfall.
Yeah, the Eagles. What is happening to these Eagles? Like this team, they were finding ways to win, but they weren't playing well. And they've been inconsistent, inconsistent all year. But what is
And
wrong with these?
and now we're seeing Jalen Hurts is leading the league in turnovers. I think their previous coordinators from that Super Bowl team, seeing how they left, now kind of had an effect on.
The defensive coordinator and the offensive coordinator, Shane Steichen, which he was the defensive coordinator, and then who was the
Shane
offensive coordinator?
Steichen was the offensive coordinator.
Offensive coordinator, and then the defensive coordinator was the Cardinals coach, right? I
Yeah,
forgot his name.
Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah, yeah. And so you're kind of seeing like what Shane Steichen is doing with the Colts, even with the backup quarter with Gardner Minshew, see how the offense is going. But like, I mean, the only thing consistent right now with the Eagles is that tush push. They haven't been playing well. Like and then I guess supposedly Jalen Hurts was sick, but I mean he looked fine to me throughout the game a little bit, and he scored two touchdowns. But like, what's wrong? Is it like
I mean, Streets have been saying that that Niners game might have kind of like, kind of robbed Philly their edge.
I
Like
mean,
San Francisco kind of punked them.
I guess there's a stat where like if with any team that plays the Niners the next game they probably just they lose. The Niners just do something to you. They just demoralize you. Um, but man, the Seahawks
Hey, Pete Carroll,
that
yeah, Pete Carroll, he got the guys believing with a backup quarterback, Drew Lock.
Drew Lock, that redemption game, he put on for his city in the last drive. He put
Yeah,
on for his city.
yeah, the Jackson Smith and Jigba touchdown catch.
Yeah.
That was the Monday Night Miracle.
But then just like leading that drive that he had, the last drive, like just the DK, like he was just feeding DK the whole time. And yeah, DK had 5 catches, 78 yards. I think at that drive he had like DK had like three of those catches.
Hmm.
But Kenneth Walker, he was just running the ball. He had 19 carries for 86 yards, one
It
touchdown.
was it was big to for the Seahawks to get him back because even though the Seahawks they were sitting at with their records currently 7-7, I think.
Yeah, they're 7-7, and they are, if I'm not mistaken, they are eighth right now. So they're not in the playoffs. They are behind the Vikings and the Rams.
Yeah, Gino's been in and out of the lineup with injuries, but
But
that Seahawks team, they can run that ball, and that's really what's been like kind of keeping them in this race.
mhm. And like you said, Pete Carroll just got them believing. Whoever the quarterback is, he just got them believing in this team. And to play in Seattle is, there it's loud.
Hmm.
So it's not an easy place to play at. But I guess the more the more concerns are the Eagles. Like this isn't the same team
Their
from last
defense,
year. Defense is not playing
the defense was banged up, and for some reason, Matt Patricia, he was the one kind of in charge of
play calling, which
play
their
calling
their
defense.
their play caller is still the play caller, but he wasn't calling plays. So who knows?
And
And
that's kind of a strange thing be going on, especially at this point in the season.
and then man, I think I heard but Jalen Hurts, what did he say post conference post interview after the game? What did he say? Like he doesn't see like
I don't have the
some guys
exact. I'm
some
just
guys are not in it.
yeah,
Like you're paraphrasing,
yeah, paraphrasing. Like I think he was kind of questioning the team's effort at this point
which
in
is
the
not a
season.
good which is not a good sign, especially in December. It's not a good sign to be talking like that. And what do you think? Possibly players only meeting, we've been seeing that
It,
a lot of in this season players only meeting,
it could
you know.
happen, but also at this thing, like they were making some plays during the game,
Yeah,
like
they were
they can't like I knew them as a team that could like strictly run the ball and they were winning games because of that. But one part that's really lacking in their offense was getting AJ Brown the ball because at the midseason point they were just hot and they were looking like the team to beat and AJ Brown was looking like the
and
premier
we
receiver in the
and
league.
and we were like saying like who's right now who's the hottest receiver like past like pre like weeks ago we were talking about him and Tyree being the best receivers, and now it's just like they haven't got him going from the previous like from the beginning of the season to now. And it's very just like who knows what this Eagles gonna like this team. Can they even reach the Super Bowl again? And even if they get to the playoffs, do you really think they're gonna beat the Niners? Like right now, from what I'm seeing in the NFC,
The Niners are the
no
best
team
team.
Niners are the best team and nobody's beating them. Like I'm sorry, like the Lions, yeah, they put up points, but their defense is not that great. Yeah, they played their defense played well on Saturday. And they did a lot of blitz. But still, like they're not gonna do that against the Niners. So right now, from what I'm seeing, we're in week 16. I think the Niners are going to the Super Bowl. But it's as long as everybody's healthy, the Niners are the best team in the NFC, and they're going to the Super Bowl. Because I don't see anybody in the NFC beating them. I don't. All everybody in the NFC haven't been consistent.
I'll agree with you on that. The Niners, they are definitely looking like top dogs,
Yeah,
and you
they're
don't
the
want to face them coming up with the postseason coming up.
no, you do not want to face them. And then the AFC side, it's more, which I mean, the Ravens are still the top seed, and it's just like not a lot of people are talking about the Ravens. Maybe because they win, but they're not like, it's not like flashy, like, they have Lamar, but it's just not like I just see a lot of people not just talking about the Ravens, you know. But the AFC is pretty wide open. You got the Dolphins, you got the Chiefs somehow, they won, but they still have wide receiver issues.
Yeah, they still got questions on offense. Isaiah Pacheco might be coming back soon.
but Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been playing well.
Hmm.
They had an easy game. You know, they had New England. You know, New England's defense is pretty good, but you know that was a win for the Chiefs. I don't know who the Chiefs have next week. I think they got the Raiders. So
I
we'll see what
mean,
happens.
you don't know the Raiders as well. You know what happened last time, but
Yeah, but I mean they're not they weren't playing a really good team. And then we have Christmas Day, man. Christmas Day, we have a really a big game. You know, the NFL gave us a gift for Christmas Day, the Ravens 49ers, possibly a Super Bowl preview. Who do you got in this game? This is in San Fran. I'm sticking with the Niners. I think the Niners are going to beat the Ravens. And I won't be surprised. I think it'll be a close game, but I also won't be surprised if the Niners just blow them out.
yeah, I say the Niners they take care of this one.
But close one, or it's a close game, or would it be more like the Niners just like it's just a one sided game? Because I won't be surprised if it's that one-sided game, but I think it's gonna be a close game.
I say, I mean, yeah, the Niners they have playmakers on offense, and yeah,
That
Lamar's been
defense,
playing.
Fred Warner,
Yeah, Lamar's been playing well, but maybe seeing the likes of Nick Bosa, Tre'Davious Ward, Fred Warner, those guys are dogs.
you saw that interception? Like that dude just was it Tre'Davious Ward just like intercepted the ball, just went flying. That man was fast. But man, that's it for today's episode. We'll be back with another episode recapping week 16. Till then, peace.
Bye, everybody.